Do we live in a strange world? What is up, guys? This is Rob. This is the Couch on Fire podcast. And yeah, we live in a strange world. Now, it's 2020. And I'm sure the world has flipped upside down, to the left, to the right, every which way for you personally. And I'm sure it's affected so many in so many different ways. But let me elaborate a little bit of what I think is the strangest part of this whole situation. Quarantine? Not so much. I'm kind of turning into an introvert. I don't mind it. What else? Sports? Yeah, that was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. The sports ending and coming back and ending and coming back. I mean, it's just that is a little weird. I will give you that. Now, I think the thing that's the weirdest is no movies. I feel like now I wasn't alive during World War II. I wasn't alive during World War One if there was movies. But I'm sure the show always goes on. That is the slogan, that is the saying. If you're a director, if you're a movie person, if you're an actor, I mean if you're any that type of work, the show must go on. Us as Americans at least, society, for us to get better, we have to continue doing what we're doing. We can't let them say, like, oh, whatever. You slapped us in the face. Like, look at 9/11. I think we could talk about it. It's been a while. But it's sad. We mourned. But 3 days later, there was a baseball game. There was still movies in the movie theaters. People were still going to the movie theaters. All right? Denver, Colorado. There was a mass shooting at a movie theater. Movie theater where you're supposed to feel safe. There was a mass shooting for The Dark Knight. And the movie still came out. Things just keep going. It's not a big deal. But 2020. There's movies. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say there's no movies coming out, period. Netflix, Amazon. Now, you're looking at AT&T, Spectrum, all these cable providers, Comcast, Xfinity, Time Warner Cable, Cox, HTC. All these companies are just joining together to make movies or content just to get right to your house. No movie theaters. Now, I've done podcasts before in the past with guests, without guests, about what I think movie theaters are going to, like, are they going to exist in 20 years? Now, this is before the pandemic, and I'm a strong believer. We're all going digital. It is what it is. It's sad because the movie theater has been around forever. It was everything. But it's just really, the world is changing, and it's changing badly. Not badly, it's just changing fast. Movie theaters will stay around. I strongly agree this. Movies are still coming out. Christopher Nolan just released Tenet, which I know did not make the money he wanted it to make, but for the obvious reasons. Now, he can always have that under his belt saying, well, it was COVID, and there's a lot more digital downloads and stuff, rentals later, you know? But as a director or as a producer, as a company, like, do I want to put out a movie and not get the potential $1 billion that my other movies might have? Like, look at Marvel, for example. This was the first year nothing came out for Marvel in a very long time. Now, not even on TV or anything. I don't know. It's just they haven't really released too much. Now, I know they're testing the waters, Disney, doing the Mulan release for Disney Plus people, but you still have to pay $20-some. I know that seems steep to rent a movie, but you got to think, if your spouse go to the movies, it's $20. You, your spouse, your kids go to the movies. So they're considering that. They're considering you're not going to watch this movie alone. So that's why it is like that. And it does suck, but the cool thing is you rent it for a little bit longer. You can watch it. You can go to bed, wake up in the morning, and watch it again. I mean, I don't know the exact time. I did not do it, but I'm sure you have a little bit of time to watch it. So, but I don't think the results were where they wanted it to be. I think people, I'm a millennial. I was born in the 80s, late 80s. Grew up in the early 90s, middle 90s, late 90s. I grew up whenever. I'm still growing up. But I enjoy the movies. Movies are a really nice sanctuary place where you go, you block out everything. You don't get on your phone. It's like the one time you really don't get on your phone. You sit down and watch TV. Oh, I'm not going to touch my phone. But you're like, man, I want to look up, who's that actor? I'm going to look him up. Like, you still manage to touch that phone. But the movies, it's like you don't. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But it's kind of crazy. It is the world we're living in right now. I'm not seeing the trailers. I want to do more trailer reviews, but I'm not seeing good movies that are coming out that I'm looking forward to, because they're just B or C list movies that they're still going to push out in theaters. Now, theaters are struggling. Theaters are just not having a good go at it. Now, they can recover from this. The theater companies can open, we talked about in that one video a year ago. Drive-in theaters might come back. Digital downloads are a thing. So drive-in theaters, these are the things that are happening. If I was AMC, or if I was a big company like Regal, I would really invest into some drive-in theaters. Clearly, they're not as fun as they used to be back in the day, but you can make them, reinvent them, do something different. Have a dome over them, like you could park your car but still have a dome over them. I mean, do something that's, cool, especially in the warmer areas, the states that never get freaking cold. Do that. But right now, they're struggling, and I don't know if they're going to survive. I know some of the bigger movie companies will survive because they're playing those B and C list movies. And as soon as pandemic really makes life goes back to normal kind of thing, we will have movies. People are still making movies. They got budgets, they got deadlines, they're making movies. But when those movies get released, no one knows. James Bond was supposed to come out about a year ago. Still hasn't came out. It's done. The actor's probably fat and gray hair right now. It's just one of those things that's what it is. So I don't know. I don't know what movies are going to be. I want to do more trailer reactions, more things coming up. There was a whole bunch of horror movies that were supposed to come out but did not. There's obviously Marvel movies are not going to come out. There's a couple of them that I am so looking forward to. I love Deep Space comics. I love Green Lantern from the DC universe, and I didn't even know about Guardians of the Galaxy and Marvel, and I love that. The Eternals I'm looking forward to. These are good movies in the comic world that I'm looking forward to. And then I'm sure there's some really amazing movies coming out that I don't even know about. Oh, it's just so much. But I don't know. It's just weird to me. I had this conversation real quick. I know I'm kind of jumping places. Me and my wife sat down and I said, is there going to be an Oscars this year? Like, I know things came out in January and February, but are they going to, what are they going to do for the Oscars? Are they just going to destroy those are the films that came out January, February, even March maybe, before they really stopped the movie theater? Are those films the ones that they're going to base their whole award show off of? Or is it time where these B and C listers movies are going to be forefront? Or the whole show is streamed on Netflix, on Apple TV, on Hulu, all the channels, and the award show goes to those shows and movies. It could be that. I can see it, because those movies are still popping out. There's some good movies in the Netflix world. I'm a sucker for documentaries right now. I'm living it up. This quarantine, this whole 2020 year has been documentaries for me. But I'm ready. I'm ready to get back in the movies. The last movie I saw was probably Endgame. And then before that, it was probably Bohemian Rhapsody. Great experience in the movie theaters. It's loud. It's personal. It's just great. I don't know what they're going to do. I think the yearn for movies will always be there. I definitely think it's a little bit more personal if you watch it at home with your girlfriend for the first time. You can skip all the bases, but it's just for the movie nerds out there and the geeks that love writing stories and producers and directors and that whole world, like myself. Movie theaters are just where it's got to be. So, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. It feels really weird that there's not that many movies coming out. I'm Googling like trailers, and it's like, wow. I mean, there is more trailers now than there was over the summer, but it's just not the same. YouTubers out there. There's YouTubers that I watch that do movie reviews. And even they're dumbfounded. They don't know what to do. They're doing movies back in the day, which is fine, but it's like, I don't know. So 2021, I think, is going to make a good comeback with movies. Eventually, companies are going to have to put it out. Even if movie theaters are not open, they're going to have to put it out, which means we're going to have to pay a little bit more money for these movies. But you got to think, popcorn, all that good stuff you spend at a movie theater for a family, you're actually in the end saving money, and they're losing money from it. So you got to think about it that way. But yeah. Anyway, before I get off here, I just wanted to do a little chit chat about some movies, some thoughts of mine, and some gathering of ideas of what they should do. The election just happened. I wanted to thank everyone who liked and shared my last podcast. I knew it was weird. I haven't did podcasts in a while, and I came out just said talk about voting. Voting happened. There was an election. It took days, which is crazy, and it's still a battle. I'm pretty sure we know who the winner is now, most definitely, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be, no matter who wins every election, there's always one side who's pissed at the other side. It's just the inevitable. But I wanted to come on here and say thank you guys for sharing that, and I hope you guys did all vote, even if you voted for people that no one even knew. As long as you went out and you did something to solidify your well-being in the United States or as a human being. Even other countries vote, and I'm sure they're talking about it. This is for your country. Do it for your country. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, and I don't know if you guys know, I am pumping out content every day on the YouTube channel, but Sundays. Every day I'm putting a video out. Most of it's about 2 different games, but I do have some other games coming in the pipeline. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's a game coming out very soon that I'm excited to play. I'm not going to say the name of it. I'm going to surprise you guys, but I'll be putting that out. But yeah, go to youtube.com/CouchOnFire podcast, and you can see all the videos I have up. Mostly gaming. You can see, and you can go nostalgia and go way back and see some of the earlier podcast episodes. We used to put them on YouTube. We used to do video chats. It was fun. It was cool. Wasn't the hugest fan of it, because I don't like seeing my fat face, but it was pretty nice. So definitely check all that stuff out. Some things are going on, Just because we're at a standstill in 2020 doesn't mean I'm at a standstill in my life. So thank you guys, and talk to you later.